We're ready. We're back. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, coming to you live with Coach Brooks, Bowie State University head men's basketball coach. How you doing today, man?
Man, I am doing great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm sorry, I forgot, AKA Pops. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well.
How you feeling, man? Resting up from that long travel yesterday?
Yeah, long trip, even longer. After the way we played, wasn't really happy with that. I think we're a much better team than that. But now we go on to the next one.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and first, we'll go back the non-conference games you guys play against Cal and a couple other teams. Um, how do you think your team's preparation against the non-conference teams helped, or is helping you guys progress and get better each game?
Oh, I think every game that you can play definitely helps you get better and get ready for our league. We played against some good non-conference teams, and uh, I'm pleased. I think we're progressing the way we should at this point.
Let's talk about yesterday's game. I know a couple games back when you guys played against a couple teams, we talked about starting fast and some was defensive lapses or turnovers. What are your thoughts in yesterday's game? It didn't start off good. They got off to Claflin got off to a fast start, being the first CIAA game you guys played thus far. You know, what was it about that their jump off that just seemed like it was too much to come back from?
Well, it was definitely our inability to handle the basketball against their pressure. Not only did they full court press us, I thought they were really physical in their half court defense, and our guys really struggled just running our offense at times. So it was definitely turnovers. We out rebounded them. I think they made one more free throw than we did, but it was 22 turnovers, and I think they had 29 points off our turnovers.
Okay, wow. So a third of their points came from turning the ball over.
Correct.
Okay. And then when you talk about rebounding, that's one thing, where you guys are a lot more aggressive in the paint when it comes to rebounds. But how frustrating, or, what is your message to the team as far as free throws or like leaving points on the floor? You know,
Yeah, I think for us, uh, from the free throw line, we're shooting about 70, close to 72%, which isn't bad. I don't think we're getting to the line enough, and that's the message to our guys. I think we have to be more um, aggressive in attacking the rim to see if we can get to the line a little more.
I think yesterday there were a couple plays where there definitely was room for a call on Claflin yesterday, especially when Maury was driving. One, he drove, he got the rebound for the putback, and definitely was smacked 2 or 3 times. I know you don't focus on the referees or the whistles or lack of, but how much did you try to keep your players in mindset, composure to not worry about those calls either?
Yeah, one of the things we tell them is don't talk to the officials. I'll talk to the officials. So we just want to concentrate on doing what we can do to win that basketball game. They're either going to make calls or they're not going to make calls. So we can't really be concerned with that. We have to continue to do the things that we talk about every day.
When we talked the last time, we talked about communication and making sure that we're communicating on both offense and defensive sides of the ball. How have you do you how has your progression do you feel has been for your team in that regard?
I think we're getting a little better, T. I think we're getting a little better for sure. We just have to continue to do that, every day. Communication, and we talk to them about this all the time. Really good teams are really good communicators, so we want to get to that point.
When we go ahead and rewind a little bit and we go back to last year's team versus this year's team and how it ended with the CIAA, what were some of your thoughts and what were some of the things that you wanted to make sure that, was instilled in the team for this year versus last year?
I first of all, I got to say, I really like this year's team. I think that um, we have a much more together team. I think there are, you know, winning is most important to this team, not necessarily individual accolades. We just keep talking to those guys about, working hard every day, you know, controlling the controllables, which is your attitude and how you show up every day and how hard you work. I think this team is getting better. Really excited about for us as we start to get healthy and get all our guys back.
When we talk about this year's team and the togetherness, how many incoming freshmen do you have versus returning players?
Actually, we've got one freshman.
Oh wow.
We've got three transfers who are first year guys. So um, you know four guys basically who are new to our program.
Okay. And when you talk about the CIAA play, and that was starting it off yesterday, what is your thoughts in regards to um, just overall the conference rankings? Do you pay attention to preseason conference rankings, or players versus team or individual rankings?
Not at all. I mean, people are going to vote the way they vote. Our thing is just to again, just work as hard as we can work every day, get better, and just be prepared to play each game and be in the moment for that particular game.
What is one thing? And I'm laughing before I ask the question, right? So there was, I want to say the game was against Cal. Could be mistaken, but referees were not calling whistles as they were calling on the other end. Whistles weren't balanced, and you proceeded to show the referee what holding was by using one of your players.
Well, I think I think that particular play, uh, their guy kind of hooked our guy, and I I I just felt like he hadn't seen it because he didn't call it. So I wanted to make sure he saw it in case the same situation came up again, and that's why I hooked one of my players just to show
That was a great illustration, Coach,
him.
aka teacher. Listen, even referees are in the need of some classes every now and then.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But when we transition to, so what are your hopes and expectations for your team this year?
You know, what we really want to get back to be completely honest, the last 2 years have not been good for us. 8 wins, 7 wins. So we want to get back to being the Bowie State team that is, competitive within the league. One of the teams that when you play Bowie State, you're going to be in for a game that night. I really think we're heading to that point. I think we're getting better. Um, we have to take it one game at a time, and I hate to throw out a lot of cliches, but that's the truth of the matter. We're not gonna win 20 games, right off the bat, or just to be a great team right off the bat. We gotta do it day by day, small bites, take it and do it day by day.
We talk about leadership on your team this year, not having that many returning starters. How big do you lean on those players from last year to help guide and direct and show the Bowie State way to those new incoming players?
Absolutely. I think Anthony Carpenter is doing a terrific job, along with Joel Webb. Those two guys are captains, and we have a newcomer who's a captain, Devin Richmond, a grad transfer who's an older guy who's been around. Been through the wars of college basketball. I think three of those guys are doing a really good job of leading this team and being everyday guys.
When you talk about the team camaraderie amongst each other, and you can tell even in games where it may not be going in your favor, that the team always still rides and rallies around each other.
Oh, definitely different. First of all, these guys like each other. We have a very competitive group. So they want to try to win every game, but I think they believe in each other. They like each other, they respect each other, and they try to hold each other accountable. I think those are the things that, when you look at teams who are good basketball teams, those are the attributes that they have.
I seen last week, I believe you guys had a CIAA rookie of the week. Can you talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, Kavon Corley. 6'6", can really shoot the ball, which is his strength right now. He's just got to get better defensively, which happens a lot of times with freshmen. Um, but really competitive, a guy that's going to work really hard. And I think he's got a chance, over the course of his 4 years to develop into a really good player.
What are some, do you perceive any challenges with this team this year?
Yeah, I think each year brings new challenges. I think for our guys, consistency is something that I think we got to get better at. And I think they are. Again, I think they're improving. But I think for us to be a good team, we got to be a consistent team in doing it everyday things.
Whenever you have moments in games where the referee isn't refereeing fairly, how much how much does that take away from you being able to just focus on your team and prep for gameplay versus trying to instruct and get them to listen, have a fair whistle.
It's a fine line. I think for me, I talk to our guys all the time about not worrying about the officials to let me handle that. But for myself and my staff, we have to be aware of not being too concerned with the officials and really worried about coaching our team.
Do you feel that at moments though it can be a distraction, meaning distraction to you, meaning that already I'm focused on my game plan for today, but now this is an added component. Just like any other sport, there are always going to be an added component or a variable that may try to throw it off or throw the balance off, sort of say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely will happen sometimes. But again, I think as a coach and as a leader of this program, I got to practice what I preach. So I can't get so far off into the officials that I get away from the ability to lead this team and coach this team and just, be in the moment for that particular game.
I love the support not only that your team shows to each other on the court, but I've been to a couple of games too where it's not that often where the men and the women are playing the same day, or the men is off and the women is off, or the women's not out of town or you're not out of town. But the support that your players show to the women's basketball team is monumental.
It's been that way, for as long as I can remember. Coach Swan, head women's coach, I look at her like she's my granddaughter, but she does a terrific job with her team. But we really support each other. We'll be on the road sometimes. Like yesterday, we played at Claflin. We traveled separately, but they stayed around and they watched like 3/4 of our game before they left. We support them. It's been like that. It's a great, just a great part of being here and being part of this athletic department.
How exciting is it for you as a coach to see the transformation as far as when you say that the players like each other, the fact that they're able to rally, they're selfless in regards to no matter who gets the credit, as long as we all win, that is success.
Yeah, again, we're much better at that than we have been over the last couple of years. We tell them all the time the most important thing is winning. That's got to be the single most important thing. And a lot of times, especially with young guys, it's easy to say it, but it's hard to do. So if I'm playing good, it's a little easier for me to be involved. But if I'm not, it's not. So
Right.
I think that this team, we are so far ahead of that than how we've been in the last couple of years.
Injury wise, how are you guys dealing with, and how are we? Are you? Do you have a couple players on injury right now? All right, look like we lost Coach Brooks. Be getting back soon, but again, yesterday was the first day of CIAA play for Bowie State University, men and women's basketball team. The women was victorious, while the men was not, able to close the deal. But again, as Coach stated, That was the first of many. It's not this game didn't matter, but next man up, next game up. So look forward to seeing the Bulldogs as they go to battle and they get ready to really dig their heels in deep for CIAA play. And as you know, for those who may not know, the CIAA is in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, there was an extension for another 2 or 3 years. So if you missed last year, I'm imploring you this year. CIAA basketball, Baltimore, Maryland is going down. You can start going ahead on the CIAA website to look up your information, to look up the information, hotel packages, game packages, etc. It's an awesome event, awesome time you don't want to miss. You got teams from North Carolina, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland. It's going down West Virginia because Bluefield State is now a new CIAA team in the conference. So listen, this is the first of many with Coach Brooks. No, we were able to keep him on. We lost connection with him, but we'll get him back again on future interviews. But I'm Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, and I am here at Bowie State University. Total Access is going down. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great week.